Hey guys, it's Nick, and welcome to Dead Island, the review. This game, I want to start off by saying, is one of my favorite games. Now, sometimes I use that term too much, but this time it's very deserved. It is actually one of my favorite games. I've beaten this particular one. This is the first one I'm playing right now, just one, Dead Island. There was another one called Riptide, and then a few more spin-offs and all that, but this is the first original Dead Island. And I've beaten this probably 5 or 6 times now on different consoles, and this is on the PC right now. And it's just a really fun, immersive, open-world experience with a good combat system and fun things to do. And I really can't say enough just how much fun it is. It's just a really the core of the gameplay is killing zombies. You're going to be doing, little fetch quests, and you're going to be fixing stuff throughout the game, much like a lot of other games. You come across people who need help, and you get them to safety, and you build things and retrieve things for them. It's your standard missions, but just the combat itself is so fun, and the world is just so immersive. It's just a really great experience. It all fits together very well. This is live footage, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Sure, live. Kind of control if there's noise going on at that moment. So, anyway. So, the pros of this game really speak for themselves. If you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. If you don't like zombies, then I would say steer clear, because that is core of the gameplay. So if you're not into the zombie thing, if you're not into killing, you wouldn't probably like this game. If you don't like melee, you also should not play this game, because the game is probably 90 to 95% melee, because there is supposed to be guns in it, but they're just so rare that I pretty much don't even include them when I'm talking about it, because it's just so infrequent to actually see one or have any ammo for it. Oh. So, the pros, again, the graphics, let's talk about. They are pretty good. They look about Xbox 360 standard graphics, because I think that's what it came out first for. And not a big deal. They look pretty nice. They're nothing, amazing. The thing with the graphics I need to discuss, and this is one of the cons of the game actually, but not a huge one, just depending on, what bothers you. There are serious texture loading problems in this game, and they're pretty much pervasive through the entire time you're playing. You'll load up a level, and textures won't be there for, sometimes 10 to 30 seconds. Zombies don't always show up entirely right. Some things don't look very as pretty as they could. I mean, it's not a bad-looking game, but if you're playing it just for the graphics, I would give it a pass on that one, because it's just your standard stuff. Although some of the things in the game are very beautiful. Like, that is not the best-looking thing, but I think that's it really feels like you're here. I mean, it's really nice. It really gives you that sense of atmosphere. So the graphics do achieve what they're probably set out to do, I would imagine. So, the texture loading problems, other than that, not much else to say for the graphics. The animations, sometimes when they leap at you, is kind of annoying. I don't really care for what's basically a QTE. Like if they grab me right here. Quick time event, basically.
Okay, hurt to take a look.
And that kind of goes in with that section. And that doesn't really happen that often, so not much to mention, actually. Yeah, the gameplay, like I said, it's very cool, very fluid feeling to me. You've got your stamina bar, which controls, that's your run, and your kick, and your swing. So you really do have to manage stamina if you don't want to get murdered. If this guy comes up to me and I have no stamina, you can't even swing your sword, or your stick, or whatever the heck you're using. And for instance, here we have a electric baseball bat. Circular blade on it. And it is one button combat, really. There's an analog fight system that nobody used ever. So I won't really bother mentioning it because it's pretty terrible. It doesn't really work that well. You swing the stick, and in lieu of just hitting a button. But yeah, it's one button combat. You've got you can throw the weapon, and you can kick, and that's pretty much it. The extent of it. You're just swinging different weapons at that point. So you know the combat is fun, but simple. I would say that's how I would describe it. It's fun but simple, and it really it's the same for every bad guy. You know, as far as it goes, how to kill them, but it doesn't really get old. It's always fresh. You love hacking through some zombie flesh. You know, no matter how many thousands you kill, then you will kill thousands. That's another thing about this game. Some games you are trying to avoid the zombies. You're not really trying to kill them. Like for instance, I believe this is accurate. Zombie U, as it's known on its Wii console, is a game where you're trying to evade them. You would rather not fight them. You want to fight as few as possible. In this game, you're supposed to attack them. You're supposed to take them out. And they do respawn when you leave the loading screen. But for instance, if I walk back through here, there's probably going to be like none. You know, some will respawn if you go far enough away, but it's pretty straightforward on where they come back and stuff. So you have a little reprieve if you've cleared an area until the next time you come through, which is really cool. So you don't have to constantly be worried if you've cleared this out. You can walk back through it at your leisure and kind of explore. So that's cool. Yeah, you want to attack them, and so the next thing about attacking them, I'll say, is it gives you a lot of cool tools to attack them. This game has a weapon modding system, a weapon crafting system, and a weapon repair system. So the last one, obviously, you know, we could all live without, but the first parts are pretty cool. The weapon crafting is pretty good. You can make all sorts of crazy shit. I find a lot of the mods are electric, so if you're looking for a huge variety, I can't say that there is one, because, I mean, probably 20 of the mods are electric. I mean, there's a lot of cool ones like the one I'm holding. There's like a nailed baseball bat. I don't know if I have one. Yeah, there's the nailed baseball bat. There's all sorts of just, you know, anything you pretty much think you could make. There's fire weapons and stuff like that. And the weapons, of course, if you see that white bar around the weapon picture up in the right corner, it does wear down, and you repair them with money, which is one of the cons of the game. To me, that makes no sense. But I know why they did it, because it's just the easiest thing to implement. You pick up money off the corpses, use it to repair your weapons, even though it just makes no sense at all. So that part, you know, that's one of the cons to me. It's just kind of silly. You know, that it kind of takes me out of it, because, like, who the hell are you paying? Like, you're fixing this at a workbench by yourself. Who are you paying to fix this? So, that's a con, which there's just a few of, in my opinion. So, let's see. So, we went over the graphics, we went over the combat. There's a few more things about the combat while we're still kind of on the fighting and the weapon part of it. So, if we go here, you know, we got your map, we got your quest screen, which is nice because it shows you which ones you've done, which are side and which are main quests, which I like that layout. Inventory, let's see, you've got all your weapons right there, and you got your miscellaneous. That's a nice layout as well. But like I was saying, on to the extra combat stuff. So there are upgrades in this game. You've got 3 skill trees here, and one is like for your health and how fast you recover and how much damage you take, basically, and some survival skills like lockpick and extra inventory space. And this middle one is combat, and some of these give you a few extra abilities, like you can stomp enemies' heads into the ground when they get knocked down. One gives you the ability to tackle them, which is pretty handy, actually, and a lot of this just does more damage. But the interesting thing, this is pretty cool, is the Fury, and this sends you into a rage, and I will show it here in just a second. And you use your fists to bludgeon them, and there are upgrades in that skill tree, the far left one, that... Let's find a couple more zombies here before I use that. Yeah, there's a whole skill tree, and you can make that longer, you can get more rage, and you can, you know, punch a lot of the time when you get that, when you upgrade that a little bit. It's pretty fun. Just beating the living shit out of zombies. It's really cool. So I find it very fun. So, you know, the combat, you know, like I said, when you're going to be using the melee weapon, most of the time is just swinging. But it's, it gives you a lot to mix with. Here is the rage. Oh shit! That's an explosion. Oh! Okay, yeah, that's a suicide zombie, and they blow up. So, but yeah, you see the rage. You go into that red screen, and you get a set of brass knuckles, and you do like a crap ton of damage. I'm near the quarantine zone right now in the game, so there's actually more zombies here. So the layout's really cool. But yeah, so you got that rage mode. So that's pretty much the combat. That's everything I can mention about that, I think. So that's really fun. Gives you a lot to mess around with. But yeah, the main combat itself, it just does not get old to me. The map design, I suppose, it's pretty good. Sometimes it ranges from too easy to frustrating, or you know, too bland to frustrating. The map, like what it looks like, you know, is really pretty, but sometimes the layout. Some of these rooftop missions just make you want to kill yourself. So that's another one of the cons. Just very cryptic. I just got a gold weapon. Very cryptic missions sometimes, levels actually. But they're not too bad. Some of the jungle sections are pretty hard to navigate, but it's really just about learning it and figuring out where you're actually supposed to go. And, you know, there's a learning curve with every game. And I don't think that's even a... Here we go. Oh! Curb stomp. There you go. That's that, too. Yeah, I don't think a learning curve is necessarily a bad thing. So you just kind of have to pick up how the game's designed, and you can pretty much figure it out. So on that, you know, it's really nothing to write home about, but it's nothing too horrible either. So could be worse, could be better. Let's see.
Let's see what we got.
Interrupted me. We did combat. We did map. We did graphics. Enemy types. They are your standard enemies, I would say, pretty much. You've got your basic zombie, which is just kind of walking around and swinging at you. You've got fast zombies, which run at you. They're infected. They do more damage, and they're more likely to knock you down. You've got your special zombies and stuff, like the Juggernaut. He's really huge, and he's in like a straitjacket, and he like runs at you and knocks you down and does like, you know, half your health or more. There's the Tank, which is of course just a big zombie standing around. They're very slow, and they punch you and send you flying. That's the fast zombie, by the way, right there, the infected. And there's just a few more various others, but yeah, enemy variety, it's pretty standard. There's nothing really too creative in the way of enemies. There's some water zombies, I think, that kind of float and they look dead and they jump up and grab you. Yeah, not too much to say about that, but it's a good mix and it feels very balanced. Like, you know, usually you're not just bombarded with, you know, 5 different rare enemy types all at once. You know, they do level it out. So that's for the characters. The enemies are laid out in very good fashion. It feels very natural to come across zombies, like they'd actually be congregating in some of these corners and stuff like that. It feels very natural, if such a thing can be said, I suppose. Uh-oh. Friends coming. So let's see. There's weather for the graphics too. It's okay. It's standard rain. There are zombies like that who pop up out of the ground, off the ground. So let's see. We talked about the upgrade system. We talked about yeah. Here's the map. It's pretty useless as far as it goes. I mean, because you can't always go this way. You'll have to, or you can't always go on the street. You'll have to like cut through here and stuff. It's got your basic missions and stuff. The markers, pretty easy to see. It's a good map. It's just basic. It doesn't help too much. Yeah. Shit. You can also just beat zombies up if you want. Range it up. See, it gives you a crap ton of experience too. But it wears off very fast at that's why I say, if you're wanting to use that more often, you should certainly upgrade it as fast as you can to get a little bit more time to play around with that. The writing, okay, yeah, sure. The writing, nothing special, I would say. It's okay. It's kind of cheesy in a lot of places, and that's okay. It feels all right. I want to talk about that in just a minute, actually. So I think that's pretty much the game. That's pretty much everything you need to know about it. If you like open world zombie games, you know, and you like some melee combat, and you like some resource management, and, you know, some stamina management, kind of, you know, a la Dark Souls style a little bit. Probably get turned off for saying that. Oh, the fire. But yeah, then this game is definitely for you. I mean, it's a very good game. It's very cheap now. It's very old, so you can pick it up for probably almost nothing on Steam, I think. I happened to get this in a 2-pack. I had Dead Island Riptide and this one. I got it for 12 bucks on Steam, and they usually go on sale for like, I think, less than $10 individually. So it's a really good bargain. I mean, and the length of the game, that's another thing. I've gotten hundreds of hours out of this, but probably in a playthrough I could get, I think you can get 70 hours if you don't even do everything. I think 100% completion, every quest you can find. I would probably say 100 hours. So it's definitely worth the money, and it's a very fun game. Now, now that we've talked about the game, I'd like to discuss the game in the eyes of the community and stuff like that. Now, I played this game when I was younger, and I didn't really, you know, use the internet that much back then. I didn't hear what people were saying about it. And I heard people just talking shit about this game all the time, and I couldn't figure out why. That's partially why I decided to do this review, just to tell people that, hey, this game is pretty solid, and I don't know why people were tearing it apart. But they were really disappointed by it for some reason. I found it to be amazing. And, you know, just one man's opinion, take it, you know, as you will, but yeah, I can't see how this game is bad. I mean, it's not as dark as people wanted, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of. The trailer, yeah, the trailer is the only thing that kind of makes sense, I guess. Ow, 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 ow. This would beat him up too. Which is totally cheap, and you shouldn't do that. Yeah, the trailer was very misleading, I guess. It was very dark. It was very cinematic. It was a lot better looking than the game itself, for one thing. But, you know, they always do that. Like, people... That's the only reason I could think of, and it doesn't really make any sense why people in general didn't like this, or at least my sense of it. And it's ridiculous, because, like, everything... They make those to sell the game, obviously. Like, gamers are going to look at gameplay, and it's the trailers and the cinematic things like that are made for people who don't really play video games, who, you know, they're trying to kind of grab their attention. Because gamers look at gameplay, and that was the cinematic trailer that everyone's so upset about, which, like, okay, obviously, like, it's not going to be the game footage, and they're going to really spice it up as much as they can. It doesn't make any sense. Like, we see that all the time, and yet you're upset by it. I don't know. That seems like it's your fault. I don't think the game company really did anything wrong by doing that either, so... that's the last thing I guess I wanted to talk about. Just, you know, if you've heard people, you know, shit all over this game, and you haven't actually played it, I would highly recommend it if it sounds interesting to you. I do think you'll enjoy it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And yeah, don't let those people talk you out of playing a really good fucking game. Yeah, like 6 playthroughs later, and I am probably gonna keep playing after this review because it's so damn good. So, I think that's pretty much it for this game. That is pretty much all I have to say about it. That is pretty much all it is. It's pretty simple, it's fun, and it's kind of addictive. There's a lot of good things in it, and most of all, this game, I'm saving this for last, has Steve Blum in it. He is several characters in the game. You get to hear his amazing voice, and for those of you who are living under a rock, that is Spike Spiegel, Roger Smith, you know, Cowboy Bebop, The Big O, several huge animes, TV shows. He's everywhere, and he makes an appearance in this game too, quite a bit, and it's worth it just for that. So, thank you guys so much for listening to this rambling kind of freeform review, but I think we did actually cover everything that needs to be said about Dead Island. So if you liked it, check out my other reviews or my other videos, and I will not be LPing this game actually because of several reasons. It is unrecordable. Just absolutely unrecordable. The saves are horrible. It doesn't work for that. So if you're trying to record it, best of luck to you. I couldn't do it. That's why we had this nice review of the game instead, just to give it the respect that it deserves, because it's such a damn amazing game. Alright, I will see you guys next time, and stay tuned for more.